She was 72, lived alone in a quiet suburb, and had a morning ritual as precise as clockwork. A glass of warm water, a handful of pills lined up neatly beside a bowl of colorful fruits, banana, mango, a slice of grapefruit, and 2 dried dates. Fruits are nature's candy, she used to say. They're good for the heart, good for the skin, good for the soul. And so every morning she took comfort in that sweetness. It was the one part of her routine that never felt clinical, never reminded her of aging, of decline, of the unspoken worries that creep into the minds of those who live alone after 70. But what she didn't know was that this very ritual, this soft, quiet comfort, was slowly, silently making her weaker. We've all been told that fruit is healthy. It's one of the earliest truths we learn, right up there with brushing our teeth and saying please and thank you. Fruit equals health. End of story. But here's the uncomfortable truth most people never talk about. What's good in youth can quietly turn harmful in old age. The same apple that boosted your energy at 25 may spike your blood sugar at 75. The banana that helped your digestion back then may overwhelm your kidneys now. And some fruits, yes, even the ones labeled superfoods, can dangerously clash with medications, amplify side effects, or strain organs that have quietly lost their resilience. The body after 60 is not the same machine it once was. It metabolizes slower, it filters weaker, it reacts more sensitively. But the world doesn't change its labels for us. We're still told, eat fruits, eat more. Don't worry, it's natural. And yet, nature doesn't always mean safe. Hemlock is natural, so is poison ivy. So is a rattlesnake's venom. In the right dose, anything can heal. In the wrong context, anything can harm. But it's not about fear. It's about awareness. Because no one should have to trade peace of mind for a bowl of fruit. You see, aging isn't just about numbers. It's about wisdom. About understanding that the second half of life isn't about doing more but doing better. Making choices that are deliberate, quiet, and powerful. And sometimes, that starts with looking again at the things we always assumed were good. So let's look closer, not with fear, not with guilt, but with open eyes and the kind of honesty that only comes after decades of living. Because 5 fruits, 5 seemingly innocent choices, might be slowly draining your energy, sabotaging your medications, or quietly inflaming your gut. Not because they're evil, but because your body has changed, and no one told you they could become dangerous. Let's begin. It looks innocent enough. Smooth, pale yellow skin, a juicy pink center, a scent that reminds you of summer mornings and sunshine. Grapefruit, that cheerful fruit we've come to trust, served in breakfast buffets, recommended in diet plans, sliced neatly beside your toast. But this sunny fruit hides a shadow. And for seniors, especially those taking daily medications, it can be a silent saboteur. You see, the danger of grapefruit isn't in its taste. It's in what it silently does inside your body long after the last bite. Here's how it works. Your liver is like a master filter, breaking down medications, clearing toxins, keeping your blood chemistry balanced. It does this using special enzymes, one of the most important being something called CYP3A4. Now imagine this enzyme as a quiet worker behind the scenes, carefully breaking down the medications you take. Statins for cholesterol, calcium channel blockers for blood pressure, anti-anxiety drugs, even medications for arrhythmia. Grapefruit walks in and disables the worker, just turns them off. That means the medication you swallowed, the one that was meant to be processed slowly, now builds up in your bloodstream. Too much, too fast, too unpredictable. And suddenly, the pill that once helped your heart is putting it at risk. The tablet that steadied your nerves is now overwhelming your system, all because of a fruit you thought was helping you stay healthy. It's not about dramatizing. It's about revealing what no one told you. Studies have shown that even a single glass of grapefruit juice can interfere with enzyme function for up to 72 hours. That's 3 days of vulnerability. 3 days where your medication might hit too hard, last too long, or interact dangerously with other drugs. And here's the cruel twist. Doctors don't always think to warn seniors about grapefruit. It's not because they don't care. It's because the food seems so harmless, so mundane, so natural. But when you've passed 60, natural isn't enough. You need precise. You need mindful. You need to treat your body like the wise, worn, weathered temple it is, not the same youthful machine it once was. So does this mean you must fear grapefruit forever? No. But it does mean this: if you're on prescription meds, especially for blood pressure, cholesterol, or anxiety, ask your doctor, ask your pharmacist, read the label, and if in doubt, leave the grapefruit for another life, another chapter, one where your liver was 30 years younger. Because the truth is, a grapefruit might seem like a symbol of vitality, but for the elderly, it's a quiet disruptor wrapped in citrus skin. And as we age, what disrupts your rhythm is more dangerous than what satisfies your taste. Ready for the next fruit that hides behind sweetness yet triggers deeper harm? Shall we continue? Her grandson loved them. Grandma, their monkey food. He'd giggle, biting into one with carefree joy, and so she kept them stocked, ripe bananas on the counter, always in reach, easy to peel, easy to chew. A soft sweetness in a world that had grown a little more bitter with age. It's a good fruit, she told herself, full of potassium, good for my heart. But what she didn't realize was that sometimes too much of a good thing becomes a hidden threat. We've been told potassium is essential, and it is. It keeps the heart beating. It helps nerves fire. It maintains muscle strength. But balance is everything. And after 60, especially if you have kidney issues, heart disease, or take blood pressure medications, the balance of potassium becomes a tightrope. Here's the truth they rarely explain clearly. As we age, our kidneys no longer flush out excess potassium as efficiently as before. They get slower, quieter, more delicate. And potassium, so vital in the right dose, can suddenly begin to accumulate in your system like water rising silently in a bathtub with a clogged drain. Now, what happens when potassium builds up too much? The heart stutters, literally. Not in some poetic sense, but medically, biologically. High potassium levels, called hyperkalemia, can cause irregular heartbeats, even cardiac arrest, all from a substance that was supposed to help. And guess what? A single medium banana contains about 420 mg of potassium. Now imagine having one, then another later in the day. Then eating spinach, sweet potatoes, or tomatoes, which also have high potassium, and suddenly you're stacking up a hidden overload. Even more dangerous, some blood pressure meds like ACE inhibitors or potassium-sparing diuretics intentionally keep potassium in the body longer. Add bananas to that equation and the trap tightens. But no one warned you because it's just a banana. There's a cruel irony in aging. The foods we trust the most in our youth may quietly turn on us in old age. Not out of malice, but out of mismatch. What once energized now destabilizes. What once nourished now overwhelms. Not because the food has changed, but because you have. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. It means you've lived long enough to require precision, not just general advice. So if you have kidney problems, if you take heart or blood pressure medications, or if you've ever been told your potassium levels are high, be cautious with bananas. Don't ban them, but balance them. A half banana instead of one. Not daily, not blindly, because your heart deserves rhythm, not risk. They say age brings simplicity, but the truth is age brings depth. And sometimes, depth demands we re-examine the simple things. Like a banana in the morning. Up next, we peel back the truth behind a fruit you thought was nature's candy, but maybe quietly inflaming your gut and shortening your breath. Shall we continue? It dazzles the eye, golden flesh, vibrant crown, the scent of sun-soaked islands and beachside memories. To many seniors, pineapple feels like youth preserved. A slice of the tropics, a bite of something bright in a body that's begun to dim. It helps with digestion, they say. It's anti-inflammatory, others nod. But not all that shines is soothing, and not every acid helps the stomach settle. Sometimes temptation wears the mask of healing. Pineapple is rich in bromelain, a natural enzyme known for breaking down proteins. And yes, used carefully, bromelain can reduce inflammation and aid digestion. But that's not the full story. You see, pineapple is also highly acidic. Its pH hovers between 3.2 and 4, meaning it can irritate delicate tissues, especially in seniors with conditions like acid reflux GERD, stomach ulcers, sensitive gums or dental erosion, inflamed esophagus or weakened stomach lining. As we age, the stomach becomes more vulnerable, its lining thinner, its balance more fragile. Add in medications like NSAIDs, blood thinners, or calcium supplements, and you've got a digestive system that's already on high alert. Now toss in a few chunks of pineapple. And what happens? A burning sensation creeping up the chest. Stomach cramps you think are just aging. Tooth enamel wearing thin without you even realizing. It's subtle, slow erosion, one juicy bite at a time. Even more. Many seniors think they're being healthy when they eat canned pineapple. But those cans are often packed in syrupy liquids, amplifying sugar spikes, triggering blood sugar crashes, and aggravating inflammation. And here's something few people know. Pineapple can interact negatively with certain antibiotics and blood thinners. That same bromelain that helps break down protein. It can also thin the blood, dangerous for those already on medications like warfarin or aspirin. So what looks like a cleansing fruit might be silently setting you up for digestive chaos, unstable blood sugar, or internal inflammation. But here's the real question. Why does the body fall for things that hurt it? It's not stupidity, it's memory. Pineapple reminds you of vitality, of summer, of energy, of grilled fruit on vacation, of sweet desserts when your body was stronger, more tolerant, more forgiving. And so your heart reaches for the past, but your stomach lives in the present. And that's the paradox of aging. The tongue remembers what the body no longer agrees with. So must you give up pineapple completely? Not necessarily. But if you suffer from reflux, dental sensitivity, blood thinning therapy, or any digestive imbalance, moderate your intake. Opt for small portions, always fresh and preferably after meals, not on an empty stomach. Never eat it close to bedtime, because temptation isn't just what we crave, it's what we don't question. And when it comes to acidic fruits in aging bodies, silence is not safety. Awareness is. Next, we turn to a fruit cloaked in tradition, offered with hospitality, believed to aid blood flow, yet secretly straining aging kidneys and weakening balance. Shall we uncover it together? Her hands trembled slightly as she peeled the skin, not from weakness, but from reverence. Mangoes reminded her of her childhood, of long summer days in her grandmother's garden. Juice dripping down her chin, laughter echoing under the mango tree. Decades later, that same sweetness still called to her. The taste of memory, the comfort of gold, but hidden beneath that velvet flesh and nostalgic pull is a danger cloaked in kindness. Because some of the worst traps wear the friendliest smiles. Let's be clear, mangoes are delicious. They're rich in vitamin C, A, and antioxidants. They've been called the king of fruits for a reason. But what most people don't talk about, especially not to seniors, is this. One medium-sized mango contains more than 45 grams of sugar. That's more than a can of soda, more than a glazed donut, more than what your body at age 65 or 75 can handle without consequence. Why? Because with aging comes a slower metabolism, reduced insulin sensitivity, and often a weakened pancreas. Even those without full-blown diabetes experience blood sugar spikes more intensely than in their younger years. And when your blood sugar spikes fast and high, it drops just as fast, leaving you dizzy, fatigued, even irritable. Over time, these swings wear out your insulin system and slowly open the door to type 2 diabetes, inflammation, fatty liver, and even cognitive decline. Now here's where it gets trickier. Mangoes don't feel like a sugar bomb. They feel wholesome. They're natural. They grow on trees, not in factories. But remember this, natural sugar is still sugar. And in large amounts, even from fruit, it carries risks, especially for older bodies less equipped to buffer its rapid rise in the bloodstream. Worse still, most people combine mangoes with rice, sticky desserts, or eat them after a heavy meal. And that turns a sweet moment into a metabolic overload. There's also a deeper truth. Sweetness isn't always nourishment. Sometimes it's nostalgia. Sometimes it's longing. Sometimes it's our spirit trying to return to something we've lost. But the body doesn't understand longing. It only understands chemistry. It sees the surge. It fights to regulate. And with each wave of sugar, the fight becomes harder. You may notice it already. That sudden nap after lunch. That brain fog in the afternoon. That stiffness in the joints or blurred vision that comes and goes. We often blame age. But sometimes the enemy sits quietly in the fruit bowl. So does this mean mangoes are evil? Of course not. But they must be treated like a dessert, not a daily snack. They should be shared, sliced, and savored, not devoured. And if you have diabetes, prediabetes, or any blood sugar condition, you may need to avoid them altogether or consult your doctor before indulging. Because sometimes the most dangerous sugar isn't in candy. It's in the fruit we trust. And after 60, trust must be earned, especially from the foods we've loved without question. They sit quietly in a small jar on the kitchen shelf, raisins, apricots, dates, and figs. Tiny, unassuming, and seemingly innocent. Yet in their concentrated form lies a secret. A hidden storm behind those tiny dried pieces of sweetness. Because sometimes, what's small carries the biggest danger. Dried fruits have long been celebrated as healthy snacks, especially among seniors looking for quick energy and natural sweetness. Packed with fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants, they appear to be perfect companions on the path to longevity. But here's the catch. Drying removes water and with it, volume, leaving behind sugar in high concentration. A handful of dried fruits can contain up to 5 times more sugar than the same amount of fresh fruit. For an aging body, that means a sudden sugar rush, much like the mangoes we just spoke about, but intensified by volume. Let's unpack the dangers. Blood sugar spikes. With dried fruits, your blood sugar can skyrocket unexpectedly. This is especially harmful for seniors managing diabetes or insulin resistance. Hidden calories. It's easy to overeat dried fruits without noticing because they're small and easy to snack on. Calories add up quickly, leading to unwanted weight gain, a major risk factor for heart disease, joint stress, and diabetes. Added sugars and preservatives. Many commercial dried fruits are sweetened or treated with chemicals to preserve color and texture. These additions magnify inflammation and oxidative stress in the body. Dental decay. Sticky dried fruits cling to teeth longer than fresh fruit, increasing the risk of cavities and gum disease, concerns especially important for seniors with fragile dental health. There's a deeper lesson here, beyond nutrition. The allure of concentrated sweetness mimics life's temptations. Small pleasures, when unchecked, can accumulate into overwhelming burdens. Like these dried fruits, compact, easy to consume, seemingly harmless, but their effects ripple quietly beneath the surface. It's a metaphor for many choices in aging. How we carry old habits, how we overlook subtle dangers, how convenience often masks hidden costs. So what's the wise path? Enjoy dried fruits, but mindfully. Limit portions. Choose unsweetened, organic options free from additives. Pair them with nuts or cheese to slow sugar absorption. Avoid eating them alone on an empty stomach, because aging gracefully isn't about restriction. It's about awareness, balance, and respect for the body's changing rhythms. And now, as we near the end of our journey, we'll return to the beginning, reflect on the sweet lie that invited us here, and uncover the final truth about how seniors can reclaim health through mindful choices. We've walked together through sweet temptations that mask hidden dangers, fruits beloved, yet risky for those in their golden years. But now, it's time to harvest a different kind of fruit, the fruit of wisdom. Because true health doesn't come from avoidance alone, it comes from knowing what to embrace. So, what should seniors choose to nourish body and spirit? First, lean into fruits that balance sweetness with fiber and antioxidants, fruits that help steady blood sugar rather than spike it. Berries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries are nature's small powerhouses. Low in sugar, high in fiber and anti-inflammatory compounds, they support brain health and fight oxidative stress. Apples, with their crisp texture and soluble fiber, help regulate digestion and blood sugar. Enjoy them fresh, with the skin on, to maximize benefits. Citrus fruits, like oranges and mandarins, provide vitamin C and hydration without overwhelming sugar loads, as long as they are consumed in moderation and mindfully, away from conflicting medications. But nutrition is more than just fruit. Complement these choices with vegetables rich in vitamins and minerals, leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, and colorful roots that work synergistically to support longevity. Add healthy fats from nuts, seeds, and olive oil, which calm inflammation and nourish the heart. And don't forget the power of hydration, pure water, herbal teas, and broths that cleanse and renew. Above all, listen to your body. Observe how different foods make you feel, not just in the moment, but across days and weeks. Aging is a conversation with yourself, a dialogue that requires patience, honesty, and kindness. Remember, choosing better foods is not about deprivation, it's about freedom. Freedom from blood sugar crashes, freedom from inflammation and pain, freedom to wake up each morning feeling energized, clear, and alive. If you found value in this journey, if you feel inspired to make small changes that can ripple into lasting health, please subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button if this chapter spoke to you, and share your own experiences or questions in the comments below. We're building a community where wisdom grows with every story told, because aging well is a path we walk together. Thank you for trusting me as your guide. Here's to sweet choices, made wisely, lived fully.